Hi there, welcome back to Watch Your Realms. This time round we're doing a review of the new legendary Numera, who's about the poison clan, you want to call it like that. The damage that they can do, quite unique. Teaming well with Nestia, as you see there, and her Lord ability, the acute poisoning too. And on top of that, if you didn't get Nestia, the acute poisoning which can come from Vixera, which we'll get to in a separate video, all goes well together. Individually, how well do they pair? How do they stand out? And, you know, in terms of summoning for Numera, whilst it is a times 20 chance because of the amount of heroes in the pool and who else you can get a hold of, not many people have been lucky enough to pull Numera. People have summoned a lot and didn't really get anywhere. Now, is there a bit where it gives a record of what one has summoned in recent time? Summoning record, there you go. 7 hours ago, I did pull Numera with one summoning spirit, and before that, not much had happened. You know, small little pulls here and there. Really small, to be honest. 10 pulls. A lot of individual ones, which will be to do with some of the ancient summonings. I'm just wondering, what was the last one I did? Interesting. Normally I don't look for it. Magna. Special invocation of spirits. 14 days ago. Forget about that. Anyway, just to show you what it looks like visually, if we just turn it off, let's just get to it. Where are they? Visually, they look great. Got to acknowledge that first of all. Visually, they look really good. It's once again, it's kind of similar to the nature-esque aspect of Eloin, with the trees being infused in the body, nature, greenery, plants, and also Talon as well, the nature aspect, roots, vegetation growing upon the body, the skin design. The same with Numera in a way. Bit more elemental though, but still green. And those blades curve reminds me of the Piercer Lord Ivar. Can we get him on screen? There you go, with all those blades that are around him. So there's different ways you can use Numera, and quite possibly you can use Numera, well, of course, for the boss content. And the Esoterrorist, would you be following it under that? Or you could in some ways, and then the other way would be the Piercer one, so then you can still use the likes of Hex when it comes to the boss content, and Silas, and Talon possibly, for dispelling debuffs upon people. So, different outlooks. I don't think there's any exclusive artifacts for Numera yet, because they've only just come on in. But in terms of the Awakening, would you want to? Considering how hard it is to pull them with the rates and everything, if you got summoning crystals left over from getting her at least once, save them for another time. She is a part of the normal summoning pool, divines and normal spirits, invocation, summons, so you will be able to get her at some point. It's not an ancient summoning where it's really limited in that sense, and it's not a limited hero either. So just take that into mind for the future if you come to saving up. Who knows, when the next limited legendary comes out and you're summoning for them, you may pull Numera, right? Anyway, Awakening 1, during the ultimate increases damage by 25%, which is good. Damage dealt by Grimform Spike and Toxic Surge guarantees a crit hit. That's good if you couldn't build her out in full crit rate and you prioritize more in attack and crit damage, but most of the time you're going to be aiming for 100% crit rate. So a crit here doesn't really mean much, but the 25% increased damage is decent, but it's not the end all be all. When attacking enemies, ignores 20% magic resistance. Each time Nature's Wrath is cast, this effect increases by extra 5% up to 20. Oh my, wow. 45% ignoring magic resistance. That is very good. For sure, especially for the boss content, which might have high defense against magic resistance. Break that down. Heals to hero for 20% of the true damage dealt by Grimform roots. That's good for survivability, but ideally, Awakened 3 is where Numera will really shine at for that extra damage. So just keep that in mind, but to get to that awakening is going to take some time and luck, of course. Now, as for the talent, basic attack grants 1 Grimform Spike. A spike blessed by the Elm can be launched at enemies to deal damage. Doesn't say what damage that does there. The effect can maintain a maximum of 4 at once. When having 4 spikes, basic attack has a 50% chance to launch 1 extra. Okay. Dealing 400% damage, inflicting 1 stack of poison and restoring 40 rage for the hero. That's good. And the poison deals 5%, and it stacks 10 times. Decent. Now, basic attack, magic, Nature's Grasp, passive. Each spike inflicts Grimform roots and damage reduction on enemy hit. Damage reduction, minus 20%. Really good for survivability. Really good for the Titanic Ruins. For sure, definitely. Grimform roots deals continuous true damage equal to 27% of the caster's attack per second, stacking up to 6 times, cannot be dispelled. So, you want to be building this hero out in high attack to get the best outcome. You think of true damage, you think of the likes of Praetors and I think maybe Ingrid, but more so Praetors. So, yeah. Poisonwood Branch, and I've got that maxed out. Nature's Wrath, Grimform Spikes additionally inflict stun, a level of control. Now, in terms of inflicting stun, I believe that can apply well for the Titanic Ruins, the chainsaw stage, when he's charging it up. You stun, you delay it and reduce the damage there. On top of reducing the damage reduction by 20%, really good for survivability and helping the team out in general, for sure. When at least 4 Grimsaw Spikes hit the same target in a short period, triggers 1 time of Toxic Surge with 50% damage per stack. Toxic Surge consumes the poison effects inflicted on the target, dealing a certain amount of magic damage based on the poison stacks consumed, up to 30 stacks. Very interesting. Is that only the poison inflicted on the target by this person, or can it be stacked by the others? Any other character that does the poison? Last but not least, which this is also good as well, the ultimate cost there is a lot more costly on this compared to Nastia. Immediately gains 2 extra Grimform Spikes and rapidly launches all spikes to random enemies in range after charging for a short period. Each spike dealing 480% damage and inflicting 1 stack of poison. It's okay that, I guess. The cost is a bit high, to be honest, but when you're doing boss content and there's only 1 person, 1 target, all those Grimform Spikes are going to be targeted on that 1 person. Even if it says at random, there's only 1 person about, and all of it's going to be focused on them. The poison aspect, unique. So, to be honest, if you want the best outcome, if you do have Numera, that's great. Got lucky there for sure. But you want the best out of Numera, ideally you either want Nastia, of course, or Vixera, because of that acute poisoning, increasing that damage upon those of the same faction that have applied poison to the enemy. Worth taking in mind. In terms of artifacts and maybe like true damage, what could you be using? Because this is an attacker. Got to take that in mind. We don't want AoE. Increases single target damage. That could be one just as a suggestion temporarily. Depends what artifacts you have. They're exclusive, out of reach there. But would I say go for Numera? Why not? It's a unique character. They look great visually. And they're part of 2 different factions, so you can use them in different ways, of course. The Esoterrorist more ideally. And then, because you can get a hold of Vixera free to play, providing you do your resources correctly. There's no harm in going for Numera. Numera can accompany well with Vixera. So, yeah. Hopefully you summon them and you get lucky. That's it for now. Goodbye.